Hello, Charlie TCG here, and welcome back to my channel. Today's post-rotation video, we're looking at Charizard, a deck which seemed to just get stronger in post-rotation, especially after those first weekend results over in Japan from the City League results. So in today's video, we're going to break down exactly what makes Charizard EX pretty much the next BDIF of the post-rotation format, my thoughts and feelings on the deck right now, this matchup-wise, as well as also the future of this deck. So, as we can see here, it did incredibly well in the first weekend, being 30% of the City League results. Some of these results are a little bit out of date, as I am recording this a little bit more earlier. And looking at the rest of the results, we can see here, it was absolutely dominating. 5 wins, 9 second places, 11 top 4s, and 24 top 8s, including 6 gym battle wins. It becomes absolutely incredibly powerful and a little bit unchecked, because there's no ability lock, which kind of makes it a lot stronger. No path to peak, nothing like that, so it can really come up reign rampant with that Infernal and Rain, as well as also that quick search ability from Pidgeot EX. It becomes stronger, especially with some of the cards you kind of get, not relying on Battle VIP pass, but having Buddy Poffin, which just makes this deck incredibly strong, especially in the mid to late game. So without further ado, let's look at my list. I think this list is very strong, kind of incorporating the list we already know currently, but kind of like changing it a little bit. We play a 2-2 line of the Charmander. I think the 30 damage one for energy is still really strong, especially in the likes of Roy Moon, and it was obviously good in Gardevoir decks, but Gardevoir decks aren't really as common right now, but it can still get some cheeky KOs on Drifloons as well as also Screamtails. One of the Charmeleons, which obviously has that Flame Wall ability, I think that's just really powerful. Stopping and denying the likes of Sableye just makes it a lot stronger bench of support. 3 copies of Charizard EX, it just is incredibly powerful, especially with that Infernal Rain, and obviously with its Burning Rondo attack. It just is absolutely incredibly strong, especially with its damage output, and it becomes even better by having this new Ace-Spec Maximum Belt. A lot of people might go, there is multiple different ways to play the Ace-Specs. You can play Prime Catch, you can play the Cape, but I really like Maximum Belt. Maximum Belt means you can do as early as your first time you've got Charizard set up, 220 damage. Getting that real big early pressure, especially in the likes of some Giratinas and also the likes of Shein Powers, just becomes even more stronger, especially in this archetype. I still love Radiant Charizard. I think Radiant Charizard is such a good attacking option. Forcing your opponent to take a one-prize Pokemon where they can KO you is just incredibly powerful, and it can be powered up as early as turn 2 pretty much. It's just super strong, super powerful, and definitely a real good stay to keep in the meta game. I play a 2-2 line of Pidgeot. I think it's just really strong, especially with that quick search. By not having any really good ability lock right now, we might not even get a good ability lock card until May, which is May, even June time, which is quite a while away. So I still think Pidgeot EX is just super good. Getting any of your 1 cards you might need to get just makes this deck even stronger. And then the support Pokemon with 1 Rotom, 1 Lumineon, and 1 Manaphy. Rotom V was definitely the missing card for Charizard. The Rotom just makes it even more stronger, especially on the likes of drawing the 3 cards at the end of your turn, getting the extra sort of support you need to get the Charizard and Pidgeot out as early as your second turn. Lumineon to get any of your supporters, especially the Arven, because this is still an Arven side, and 1 Manaphy. You might go, Charlie, why aren't you playing Jirachi? Well, the reason why I'm not playing Jirachi is, as there's no real like Cresselia and Yoga Loops or shenanigans, you don't need it as much as you need it, especially in the previous format. But I still think having Manaphy is much stronger. Greninja is going to be played in a lot of decks. It's going to be teched into Mew, teched into Shein Pow, teched into Roy Moon, as well as also teched into some archetypes like Lost Zone. So it's still really powerful to have Manaphy. Then our item cards we play 1 Lost Vacuum, 2 Super Rod, 2 Counter Catcher, 2 Buddy Poffins, 4 Nest, 4 Ultra, and 4 Rare Candies. This I think absolutely works, especially with your consistency. Lost Vacuum to kind of get rid of any of these pesky sort of tool cards going around there. Specifically the like of the giant capes, the bravery charms, and also the luxurious cape. Getting rid of them is really helps in the matchup. 2 Super Rod, because they're playing limited amount of fire energy. It's also a limited amount of fire Pokemon. Just really good to constantly be recycling them. 2 Counter Catcher, because you still want to have this one, even though we play a high count on boss's orders. If you go behind in prizes, again, using an item card is so strong. Disrupt your opponent, search at any card you want to do, plus having this is super powerful. Buddy Poffin, that is that brand new card, which pretty much makes you search your deck for 2 Pokemon of under 70 HP or less and put them onto your bench. This is pretty much all of your basic Pokemon, excluding your Rotom, Lumineon, and Radiant Charizard. This is just super strong. Why it's really good? Well, it can work in the mid to late game. Get your Charmanders in after you Super Rod after your 3rd or 4th turn. It's just really powerful. The 4 Nest and 4 Ultra, I think, have become like the good staple replacement, because you want to have more accounts of these ones because you're not playing Battle VIP Pass, plus it also helps you, especially in the mid to late game. And the 4 Rare Candies, because we're playing 5 evolving cards, we need to have these all the support as possible. Then our supporters, we play 1 Research, 3 Boss Orders, 3 Ionos, and 4 Arven. Arven, I think, becomes even better. As we see, we can play a ton of item cards and quite a lot of good tool cards as well. So kind of having outs of that is just really, really powerful. Iona for Disruptor as well, also that draw support, especially in the early game. 3 Boss Orders because we want to prey on all the support Pokemon. Roaring Moon is looking like a very, very strong archetype, and even like the Charizard. Having like some Rotom and Lumineon, which don't really need that much of a booster to try and get an easy KO, having that gusting effect can really help you skew the price rate. And the research as well is just really good in the early game as well. Hopefully we don't discard too many sort of really impactful sort of cards, but that's exactly why we play it. Really, really good for that draw support. And our stadium cards, we play 1 Collapse and 1 Team League Headquarters. You might go, why on earth are we playing Team League Headquarters? Well, if we see a lot of basic Pokemon have a ton of support, I know it doesn't really work with the likes of Shi and Pao, but it would help in the likes of Roaring Moon, also the likes of anything like that. Or some Pokemon might require a little bit more energy to try and get that support. Some Pokemon needing that 4 energies, or heck, even like additional one like Sableye needing 2 energies, it can become a little bit more detrimental. We don't have a path to peak, don't really have that. You could potentially use the likes of Temple of Sinnoh, but I think Headquarters worked really on my testing, as well as the Collapse Stadium to get rid of those pesky Rotom and Lumineon. Then the tool cards, we play 1 Maximum Belt, 1 Vitality Belt, 2 Devolution TMs, and 2 Forest Steel. Maximum Belt, like I mentioned, just becomes really, really helpful, especially getting rid of those cheeky KOs against likes of those Shi and Pals, and even the likes of Roaring Moon in the later sort of game when they've taken 1 or 2 prize cards. Vitality Bout to get that additional 10 more damage, gain that KO on that Rotom, gain to that 230 damage, which can kind of be a little bit more pesky at times. 2 Devolution TMs, because if Charizard is going to be 30% of the metagame, a timely TMT Devo could be absolutely detrimental to your opponent's sort of field, which honestly, that's why I think it's really, really powerful, especially player 2 of, with 4 copies of Arven, and 2 copies of Forest Steel Stone. We play 2 Forest V Pokemon, so it's good to have these one out to get any of the 2 cards you might, any deck card you might want for your deck. And a 6 Fire, it's all kind of like, it's clocked everyone for 6 Fire. I think it's still really strong, especially in post rotation, and I think that's just the number I've been working with the best. So looking at this matchup wise, it honestly is doing pretty well overall. We can see here that some of its favorable matchups still stay the same, its even ones about the same, and its unfavorable ones exactly the same. I think that Snorlax becomes still very, very unfavored, purely on the basis that we play absolutely no switching cards. So they can just chuck on a Manaphy and they go, well, I've now lost the game, GG's. I think that's definitely one thing to consider about. Same feeling of Raging Bolt. Raging Bolt can a little bit outprice you potentially. It also has a ton of HP. Yes, you can rely on Maximum Belt, but you can rely on them taking these 2 prize cards because they're always going to be having the HP to capture energies that have 300 HP. The rest of it is very even matchup. I think overall Charizard has a really good sort of matchup around the thing. Same thing with the favorable ones. I think you become a much stronger Shi and Power and Roaring Moon matchup purely on the basis of having Maximum Belt. But having no path to peak and around here makes Miraidon just a little bit more weaker and a lot more favorable in going into it. Same thing, I think Gardevoir is kind of like still finding its way right now. I'm unsure how it's going to be happening on the Path City League because I'm recording this video a little bit earlier than I'd normally do it. But I do think that Gardevoir is still finding its feet. Similar thing with Future Box. I think Future Box, you can kind of have a good even sort of spread out on there. They just need to worry about these 1 prize Pokemon that can take these big 2-hit KOs. Similar thing with Tina as well. Tina had its lowest share on the graphic ever, being like 2% of the metagame on this first weekend. Still got, again, still finding its legs. We are very, very early in post rotation. So don't just take on that Charizard 30% we're going to be in the Charizard metagame. It's still very, very early. Charizard didn't need that many new cards to have it, and the other new decks are going to be finding their feet. But I do think overall, Charizard had a very, very good, even to favorable match against most of the metagame. And then looking ahead, I do think it is one of the strongest decks right now in the format. It's incredibly powerful and unchecked. No base locks make this deck, doesn't make it too powerful. Honestly, you could argue the effect of yes, Burning Darkness doing a base damage of either 180, 190, or 220 is absurd and can really help, especially skew some of the price trade. And can any of the new decks really keep up? We've seen the likes of the Future Box, we've seen the likes of Raging Bolt, and also the likes of Roaring Moon, like the new version of the past box, like the ancient box, kind of like try and make their way through, but Charizard has a ton of HP, a lot to go through it, so you need to have a good grass deck to really kind of capability. That's why we've seen the rays of Arctina being played in, especially with the like of Iron Leaves, really help you in that prize map that way, using Giratina plus the likes of this to try and help you get the easy KOs that way. So it's definitely something to be considered about, but Charizard doesn't really have that many weaknesses for it. I think this list here is honestly one of the best ways to play Charizard right now. You can, but also argue down in the comments, is this the best way to play it? Do you think that Prime Catcher or the Cape will be even better? Charizard with 430 HP, is that too much? Could that become an even more stronger threat against the metagame? Heck, even the Radiant Charizard having 260 HP is super, super strong. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, please make sure to like and subscribe down below and comment down below how would you play Charizard in post rotation. My name is Charizard TCG and I'll see you guys later. Bye for now.